Yo, Brian Spector here with my bamboo stick and
Jin.
the guy that made the bamboo stick.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just
Jin, Hua, look, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so, anyways, we're sitting here having fun. It's almost like 1 in the morning, right? Am I right on time this time?
You are pretty close.
It's almost 1 in the morning, and I was about to go to sleep until an idea struck me, kind of like a bamboo hitting you right in the head, like, except it doesn't hurt. And and the idea that struck me was, holy crap, there's this whole thing going on with this awareness, and people are starting to become conscious of what we call Indigoism and what people call, I don't like to throw labels on anything, okay? Like, sacred geometry, Indigoism, consciousness, sentience, whatever you want to call it. It's like the Matrix, right? And if you're watching this video, it's because you've already escaped the Matrix and you know what all this is about. So, what we want to talk to you about basically is why this is all happening right here in this moment, because this is not something that's been happening worldwide for a long time. It's only recently, ever since like the V for Vendetta movie, and then the whole Occupy. He was actually one of the leaders in Occupy, and there's just been this huge global movement that we're actually at the forefront of, because we're basically going to take over the world. And what we realized was that the reason why things are going the way that they're going, right? The baby boomer generation, back when, I don't even know when the baby boomers were, like the 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah.
It's like when they were around, they had this whole Pink Floyd, hippie, freedom movement, right? And we actually have a freedom movement of our own going on right now. But it was more on feeling good and less on taking action. And what I realize now with what's going on in the world is that we're actually taking more action than they did back then.
Yep.
Not saying that anything the baby boomers were wrong, what they did was wrong or anything, but it's like our generation is more conscious of what's going on and we know how to fix it.
Well, the thing is, like, before in the hippie era, I mean, of course, I wasn't there, but from what I've gathered from it, it's like because of all the war, because, I mean, this is just my perception, by the way, I don't know if this is really true. War. Okay, so it was after a war, it's like people were so tired of it, some people, a group of people, went to the complete extreme, right? So when they went to the complete extreme, they didn't want to do anything, and then now we have these hippies still around, and people are trying to pick up on hippies. There's a lot of younger people now are trying to get along that same mindset and the same consciousness of like, all right, well, you know what, no more war, no more violence. And I think now, just like Brian was saying, is that more people are taking action. More people want to do something now. Now people want to do something. That's why the Occupy movement came out. I was like, you know what, we're tired of all of these things that haven't been working. Let's do something about it. There's so many things wrong with the world. And now with the Indigo children, he's dropping his stick now, right? So now with the whole Indigo children thing, the Star Child, there's so many Crystal children. There's so many names for it. Basically, with this new generation, it's like, I think the answer is for all of us, right? Because right now they're saying that, there's certain people are Indigo children. I don't know what's the truth. I'm not the universe. I don't know, what God or the universe or the cosmos decided to do. But my belief is that every one of us is an Indigo children. Every single one of us has the power to do something. We're not looking for one individual. We're not waiting for that one person to come save us all. I think the new consciousness, the new awareness, the new thing about the whole Indigo children thing and the whole Indigo, just that topic, is that it's all of us doing it together. And that's why our vision is so huge, and it's impossible for it not to work.
Yeah, and so basically I wanted to also tell you the reason why our generation is more united than any other generation out there is because back in the 80s, right? Or 70s, or wait, 80s. Back in yeah, shut up. Yeah, back in the 60s or 70s, right? When they had this whole hippie era movement and stuff, you would work for a company for your entire life, and that company would take care of you. It would take care of your family. They would pay for your retirement, your 401k, everything, right? People nowadays are tired of that crap, okay?
Actually, our generation, sorry to interrupt, but our generation is smart. You know, the whole ADD, ADHD thing, people think that something's wrong.
Yeah, that's not real.
That's not real, guys. It's because subconsciously, intuitively, you know something is messed up. You realize that this is pointless. Why am I doing this? And that's why they come out with meds trying to slow us down because they can't keep up. So,
yeah, and so what ended up happening, right, is like we're in schools trying to learn from people that aren't getting the results that we want in our life. So of course we're not stupid. Like we know, okay, well, this guy's teaching me how to be a millionaire and he's not a millionaire. Why would I listen to him?
Yeah.
Right? So our generation is conscious. Like our generation is more aware of what's going on all levels. There's different levels of consciousness, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm not even going to get into that. But so, you know, a company used to take care of you for your entire life. And we realized, like, somewhere in the 90s, 2000s, that they started changing their ideas because now they weren't in it to help people out. They were just in it for the profit. And so they started laying people off. They started getting rid of, like, you know, unnecessary things. Because back then, during the Vietnam War and everything, it was like, you know, if you were a worker, you were more important than a prophet because a worker was really valuable. And it's a philosophy that's no longer used in business now. So what we've realized, and this is the reason why we're traveling the world and we have a business of our own that's sustained online, is that our generation just wants to do what we want to do and what we know we want to do. And I know that sounds really vague, but maybe your entire life you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and somewhere along the way someone came along and told you, no, you can't do that. And maybe the reason why they said that was because they didn't get those results themselves. Mm-hmm. Or maybe as you're watching this, you already know what you want to do, and it's like you know how you're going to get there, but you just don't know what steps that you need to take. And that's what we're here for. And we want to help bridge that gap so that we can get you from point A to point B, because we've been there. We've been where you are right now. We've been down in the trenches, you know, like we've been struggling a lot for a long time. And it wasn't until we both made a decision to do something to change our lives and to stop relying on the government, stop relying on corporations for our own financial future, and just start creating it ourselves. So can you tell them a little bit about why you left Occupy? Oh, because I think
yeah. Did I talk about that?
Yeah. So he was.
All right.
He was
disclaimer:
a leader.
If you are in Occupy and you're like very serious about it, and you know you're for it. Hey, you know what? I like the idea. I'm glad it happened. That's why I joined it. It's because I'm like, finally something is happening in the world, right? Because we've been, I mean, that's a we, but if you're watching this, you probably already researched some of this stuff, you know, conspiracy theories and looking at all the negative propaganda, things like that. And that's why I was so happy that the Occupy movement started. Now, to keep the long story short, because I can talk for hours and hours and hours, right? Is that basically, I became one of the leaders inside of the, one of the Occupy movements, because I was uniting everyone together. I'm like, look guys, we don't have a central goal. We don't have a single vision. Now you just have a bunch of everybody trying to come together, and like it's just well, who's the leader? Well, we don't have a leader. It's like, okay, well that's fine and all that we don't have one dictator, right? Trying to like control everybody. But hey, who's gonna decide like where we're gonna go? What direction we're gonna head? So then they have this thing called consensus meeting. Is basically we all get together. It's a whole new way of making decisions, right? Say, well, we don't need to be a Democrat or Republican. We can just do consensus. Well, okay, great. In theory, it sounds great. But then what started happening is that it didn't work. It didn't work. The consensus didn't work because here's what would happen, okay? So, hey, I have an idea, right? Hey, what if we can do this, right? X, whatever that thing is. And then they would open up to the group, and then the group would, you know, vote yes or no or whatever. Wait, this is in the beginning, right? At least in where I was. And then you have this thing called a block. Basically, what a block means is someone goes like this, right? Someone goes block, and that means no, we cannot go forward with it. So it's like, wow, you mean one person who blocks it, and then now the plan is like, even though it's a good plan, you can't move forward with it. So basically, that didn't work, and then they try to evolve it. Well, that didn't work. Now, that's only one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is that now you have verbal.
Well, there
violence.
was violence because
there was violence. Okay.
Even in we had Occupy. I'm from Houston, Texas,
okay.
and we had Occupy movement in Houston, and this guy bursted out with an M16. You could probably search this up on Google. This guy bursted out with an M16 and just started opening fire everywhere. And to me, you know, I wasn't in Occupy, but when I was looking at that, I'm like, damn, Occupy is violent. Like, that's the image that I had in my head, and that's not the message that we want to get across.
Right. So we have that. We also have a lot of people saying F the police, you know, they're pigs and stuff like that. Then you have the peaceful people. You have, you know, the hippies. You have the new generation that, you know, that just wants to like do something, right? They want to be a part of a cause because they want to change the world, right? So when you have people who are very expressive and violent and saying F you, and then you have the really peaceful people, well, here's the problem. The peaceful people can't be heard. The only thing that the media sees is the violent people. So what I always said was like, guys, all right, look, I made a public announcement. I had a public speech. I said, guys, we can't do this. If we do this, this is not going to work. Okay? And then I made a big speech. I said, look, if this happens, like this can't happen again. And this is not just for me, it's for you guys. If you guys truly care about the whole movement, you can't be saying all this stuff to the police, because the thing is, they're no different. They don't, even if they are, you know, if they hate you, right? We're supposed to be the change we wish to see in the world. To be the change, not be what we don't want to be. Who wants to join us? People looking, who wants to join us? Nobody does. I was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work.
And you know what? My business partner is actually a cop, and I asked him, what do you think about the Occupy movement? And first thought that comes to his mind, revolution, violence, global takeover, anarchy, right? And that's not the image that if you want to have a peaceful consensus and you want the world to change, you don't do it through violence.
No.
That's never how it works, because it's like having an argument, right? Like if you're having an argument with somebody and someone screams louder than the other and then someone else screams, like, you're not gonna win. you one person,
ego versus ego, just not gonna
you're not gonna win. One person has to suck it up, shut the fuck up, and just like, you know, try to settle
be the bigger man, the woman.
So what we decided to do with the freedom movement is we decided to basically give people a way to make money on their own, because once you're making money on your own, then it's easier for you to be able to, like, if you know, he made like $6,000 in a day, right? And if you had that kind of money and you could just make like $6,000 every day, then what can you do with that money? You can fund
so much more time.
Yeah, well, not only that, but you can like fund projects that are in alignment with your vision. And one of the things about Occupy, and I'm just speculating because I wasn't in Occupy, right?
I was in it, but I will vouch for what you're about to say, because I know what you're going to say.
So one of the things that I saw about Occupy is that a lot of the people they were not financially stable. And because of that, it's like, well, if you're not financially stable, you're not going to be mentally stable, because you're not going to know, like, you're focusing on what the government is doing wrong instead of focusing on what you're doing wrong.
Well, I was actually one of those people, okay? Because I am a college dropout, all right? And this is true. And when I was in Occupy, I was trying to go as much as I can. What happened is that I ran out of money because I had to drive all the way over there every single day.
Damn.
And then, like, and then people wanted me to go. I'm like, guys, man, I know I'm trying to, you know, stand up here and stand up for you guys and try to, you know, change the world here, right? But I can't even, like, pay for gas right now. I can barely pay for my food.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. And then people will start offering me money, right? To give me money so that I can be there, right? And then, so now I realize, wait, if I'm like this, then what about other people? So now I'm starting to realize more and more that instead of trying to fix the system, right, trying to change the system that isn't working, we have to start thinking about solutions and start living in the solutions. And one of the solutions, you know, said, you know what, I am fed up with this. I'm going to take my life in my own hands. And then I'm going to do whatever I can, you know, to be sustainable. Like, just could completely take care of myself. And because I made the decision to do that, now, I'm able to, travel the world and spend 100% of my time on changing the world.
Yeah, and focusing on solutions instead of just pointing out the problems. Because one of the things that happens a lot with people in general is that we like to point out problems, but we don't like to do anything to fix it. Whether it's with the government or with ourselves or with our business or whatever, we like to point out what's wrong. And I was one of those people too. He can vouch for me on that. And like, the thing is this, okay, guys? This is coming from somebody who's basically on the inside, okay? Because I was in the media. Well, I still am in the media. My business partner is a cop. My dad used to be in the FBI when he was in college, right? People on the inside are not your enemies, okay? The people that are your enemies are the people that you choose to fight against. And if you choose to start an argument, of course, you're going to piss some people off and they're going to argue back. So why not just not even argue in the first place? Why not just, like, actually, do you have a project pulled up where they could see, like, a SketchUp of the buildings?
Oh, yeah.
So he's actually a part of a community that's actually building the infrastructure, the architecture of, like, a new society. And it's, like, so awesome. If you've ever heard about, what's that project?
Oh, Venus Project?
Yeah, if you've ever heard about Venus Project or anything like that, go look it up and then look at what he's doing. This is so badass.
All right, so you guys can't see me. All right, so basically, we are trying to become the stepping. Oh man, this is like another little topic. So I'm just be really.
We're gonna make a ton of videos about stuff like this. So just subscribe right now while you're watching.
Yeah, just real brief. Basically, Venus Project. I love it. It's a really great futuristic, utopia. But no action is really being taken right now on doing something about it. So what we're doing here with the One Community Global is to become the stepping stone of that. And right now, we don't know of any other project that has gotten this far with creating a whole new, like, quote unquote city, with, sustainability and, creating a new way of living. So here is a SketchUp. Oh crap, we're kind of low on battery, so hopefully this works. There's a little SketchUp of one of the buildings. It's called the Seagull Center. Right now, I already installed the floor plans. And by the way, I didn't do all of this. We actually have a whole team voluntarily working on this stuff. I've been in this for over about 2 years now. So we have these domes. I'm putting them right now. It's in the X-ray view, so you can see through it. There's actually indoor-outdoor swimming pool. Actually, if I make this show up here, you'll see that. See, this is the actual dome, and on the top is actually the 4th floor. And you can go out there. You can see the sunrise, sunset. It's just going to be really amazing. I'm not going to give all the details right now. This is not anywhere near finished because, I'm still working on this 3D work here. But guys, there is stuff that's already going on. There's so many movements right now. And all the solution, everything that we need to change the entire world, we already have. That's why we're so confident in this movement and what we're doing to gather everybody and to unite all the movements together. Is because there's no way this cannot work. Finally, we know everything. We have everything. We have you. So
and here's the thing too.
That's good.
If we can get you to making the amount of money that you want to make every month, then you can. If we have an army of people that are making the amount of money that they want to make every month, then
man, we'll change the world.
Everyone can contribute towards projects like this.
Yep.
So here's one thing that it's not even a conspiracy theory, right? All you got to do is look at the world. How do you get what you want? You get the money, right?
Yep.
So if we get everybody who's watching this video to get the money, and then we have an army of people who can just buy whatever we want. If you want to invent, we actually have a friend who wants to invent discover how humans can fly, right? If you want,
true story by the way.
That's another topic too, right?
Yeah,
if you want, I'm like pointing with this bamboo stick right here. If you want to figure out how humans can fly, all you got to do is
fun research
get
projects.
money fund research projects. The resources are already out there. The people who are doing it are already out there. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and instead of trying to do everything yourself, you just connect with people that are already doing it, and then great minds think alike. We all get together, we do something awesome, and then we change the world by becoming the change ourselves.
Actually, one last thing for me is that I know when I started thinking about this, I thought I was the only one, right? And maybe you might be thinking that you're the only one who thinks this way. You might be the only one who wants to change the world or notice all these things that's wrong with the world. Hey, you're not the only one. When I thought that, I started to expand my world, and I started meeting so many people. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It is blowing up. The consciousness, this new age, golden age, whatever you want to call it, it is happening right now. And it's worldwide.
And there's more people that you actually don't know about that are actually doing something about it.
Yep.
Like, because before I got into this, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no hope. The world is going to come to an end. Yep. Then I met this guy. Then I met like thousands of people that were actually millionaires, and they're doing something for this. And then you see celebrities in Hollywood doing something. So it's like, damn, like there's a lot of people who are doing something to contribute. And if you want to contribute, all you got to do is click on one of the links below. I'm going to put, if you want to see what our movement is about, go to facebook.com/freedom epidemic. If you want to be able to travel the world like we're doing right now, go to brianspector.com. I'll put both of our links for our Facebook down in the description if you want to add us as a friend, and we can connect on a personal level. And yeah, I hope this is like a crap load of information here.
All
so
jam-packed.
So I'm gonna make more videos like this. Subscribe, like this video, comment, and we'll see you later. And the idea that struck me was, holy crap, there's this whole thing going on with this awareness, and people are starting to become conscious of what we call Indigoism and what people call, you know, I don't like to throw labels on anything, okay? Like, you know, sacred geometry, Indigoism, consciousness, sentience, whatever you want to call it. It's like the Matrix, right? And if you're watching this video, it's because you've already escaped the Matrix and you know what's good and less on taking action. And what I realize now with what's going on in the world is that we're actually taking more action than they did back then. Not saying that anything the baby boomers were wrong, what they did was wrong or anything, but it's like our generation is more conscious of what's going on and we know how to fix it.
Well, the thing is, like, before in the hippie era, I mean, of course, I wasn't there, but from what I've gathered from it, it's like because of all the war, because, I mean, this is just my perception, by the way. I don't know if this is really true. War. Okay, so
all this is about. So, what we want to talk to you about basically is why this is all happening right here in this moment, because this is not something that's been happening worldwide for a long time. It's only recently, ever since like the V for Vendetta movie, and then the whole Occupy. He was actually one of the leaders in Occupy, and there's just been this huge global movement that we're actually at the forefront of, because we're basically going to take over the world. Yo, Brian Spector here with my bamboo stick and the guy that made the bamboo stick.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just
Jin Hua, look, man.
Okay, so, you know, anyways, we're sitting here having fun. It's almost like 1 in the morning, right? Am I right on time this time?
You are pretty close.
It's almost 1 in the morning, and I was about to go to sleep until an idea struck me, kind of like a bamboo hitting you right in the head, like, except it doesn't hurt. And what we realized was that the reason why things are going the way that they're going, right? You know, the baby boomer generation, back when, I don't even know when the baby boomers were, what, like the 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when they were around, they had this whole Pink Floyd, hippie, freedom movement, right? And we actually have a freedom movement of our own going on right now. But it was more on feeling